Alright, I'm doing a video on replacing the lock mechanism on the 997.2. 911 should be the same, I believe, from 2006 up until 2012. I think that's when the 997 run ends. So I have a 997 Carrera. It's pretty much stock. I haven't really done anything to it. But I'm having an issue right now with the windows. The window right now, when I open it from inside, the window, it goes down like it's supposed to. So you'll see. But then as soon as you let go of this, it goes back up. So I think there's a microswitch that's not reading over here, that the door's open. And you'll see, if I move the handle, it goes down. But as soon as, if I try to slam it, it'll hit that metal guard. So I usually just put there, close it, it goes up like it's supposed to. So that's what I'm trying to fix right now. So the first step's going to be disconnecting this battery. So I'm going to go and just access the battery. And there's your battery. Here's your negative cable. Now the window is going to stay in the open position. Alright, I'm going to start off by first removing a T25, I think it's a T20 screw in here that'll release this handle. You just put those screws somewhere where you won't lose them. So this handle should just pop right out. There you go. And from here, you're just gonna push on this piece down here and it should pop right out. And in there you have, I believe, a T30. Alright, well, I'm starting off with a 3/8 inch bit, or 10 millimeter, and I'm going to be using that to disconnect the negative battery. And the reason you want to do that is you're dealing with the, well, obviously you're dealing with the electronics, but more importantly, there's an airbag there that you really don't want to set off. So that's the main reason that we're doing that. And just set that aside. Oops. That's not good. Try not to touch it onto anything. We're just going to leave that there, and that should be good enough. Alright. The other things that I'm going to be using today are, well, I have a triple square Spline bit socket set. That's going to be more for just getting the bolts for the lock mechanism off. And the other thing that I got is the trim fastener and molding remover set. That's just to get all the trim pieces loose. So that's really what I'm working with. And obviously I got a regular socket wrench set. And I think that's all I really need at this moment. Let me get these things opened and I'll get back. So from there, I'm just going to continue removing some of these trim pieces. I'm going to start with this. Be careful not to scratch these things because they're very, very finicky. And that's what I'm trying my best not to do here. Okay, so that pops out and this should slide up. Sorry, I just want to make sure I got all this on video. There you go. So that pops up. There's a metal clip that came out. So I'm going to have to find that a little later. Anyways, this just comes loose. It should pop right out. I didn't end up using any pressure. I mean, any screwdriver. I just ended up pulling it. It was on there pretty tight. And we're going to move on. I'm just going to try to remove all the pieces that we need to remove in order to get to that. And there's another one here. There's a screw back there. And there's another piece here. It should just pop right up. There you go. Piece should come right out. Alright. The other place you gotta remove is up here. And there should be, actually I think those are it. So you have 1, 2, I think you have one in there. You definitely have one here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And that's to get the door panel off. So let me go find a T30 bit, and I can get started on that. All right, I'm using a T30 Torx bit. I just got my set, so I'm going to be using that to get rid of all these bolts. The bolt here was a T20, but the rest of them are going to be T30. kind of scary doing this, but they're going. So it didn't sound very good. And there you go. That should come loose. Now what I'm going to be doing here is removing this. Just push these two tabs. So, yep. So we're pushing these two tabs, getting that out of there, and then that should slide right out. And the other thing that we're doing is we're removing this clip here, push down and out, and then this, you have to push this tab up in order to release it. There you go. And that comes right out. And that should be it for the cover. So I'm going to get up, put this thing aside, and take a look at it. That's what it looks like, the back side of it. So we're just going to set this aside here. Move on to the door. From what I've read on this, I believe in order to get to that, you have to remove this aluminum panel, which I'm hoping is just a couple of bolts. And looks like you have a couple here. Just looking everything over. And to me it looks like it's just there. I'm just going to go ahead and remove these T5 bolts and go from there. Moment of truth. It's glued on here, so, but it looks like it will come off. I think it's just this cable. Alright, what I had to do here in order to get access back here is I pushed the grommets through, these rubber grommets. That way it'll give me a little bit of slack. Obviously I gave this slack by releasing it from this clip, and was able to push that through. So it gives me a little bit of room to work with. There's a bunch of cables that are tied up here. I don't want to disconnect anything else, so I'm just leaving it as is. And I'm gonna disconnect this now. that's probably sitting over there. Let's get to that. That's it right there. That's a M6. You gotta be careful with this. There's obviously a lot of cables everywhere. You don't want to snap anything or dislodge something that you're not supposed to. I'm learning as I go. And obviously I've done a lot of research online, but obviously once, I couldn't find any videos showing, I guess, the inside of this. I've got pictures up until this aluminum, but other than that, I didn't find anything else. So we'll see what happens. Trying to see how it's hooked up to the mechanism for the handle before I disconnect it. The best thing to do is look at the new lock to see how it compares. I'm gonna pull that apart. So this is the new lock mechanism from Pelican Parts, and that's the part number. Made in the Czech Republic. Lock mechanism. It's 3D1837015 CM100. And this is what it looks like. Straight from Pelican Parts. So what I'm looking at right now, I think from what I can see in there, it almost looks like there's something going in there from the door lock, from the handle. So I got to figure out that configuration before I start disassembling things, because I want to make sure that everything goes back the way that it's supposed to. So that's your lock. Let me go in there. I'm going to turn this off. I just want to get a really good view inside there of what that lock goes into. Alright, here's the trick to this thing. It took me a little while to get this thing out. What it is back there, you're going to have to reach way back there. There's a bolt that comes from the door latch that goes inside of this canal here. And then this, you push down on this whole thing goes forward and locks it in place. So the trick to this is you have to reach back there, push down on this and push it back, and then you can push this whole thing back and the bolt should come out. So obviously putting it back in, it's going to be the same way. You're going to get the bolt in there. Once it's in there, you're going to slide this up. That'll lock it in place. Now this doesn't come in the new piece, so I'm going to have to remove it from there and go from there. Let's see, I'm going to have to remove this too. work on this cable first. There you go, there's that. I'm going to take this out of this hole just so that I can get a little better view of this. So this has to come out. I have to figure this one out. Take a look at the new one. It looks like it's just in there with pressure. Just want to be careful because I don't want to break anything. See if I can just get a screwdriver in there. Yeah, I think it's just pressure. These look like they're holding it together there. So let me get a screwdriver. Let's see. See if I can find some needle nose. There you go. That did the trick. So just use a little bit of a elbow grease and got that separated there. Okay. So now I'm going to be trying to get this thing out. There you go. So that goes in like that. We'll go ahead and just put it into the new one since I have it in my memory now. Here you go. So it's going to go in this way, twist, and then snap into this. There you go. So it's right in there. So we're going to do now, try to put everything back together the way it was when we got it. So this is going to go through here. It's going to go through that hole again. It's in there. That's my nanny, my daughter's nanny, with my daughter. So that's in there, pretty snug. It's not coming loose. Now the tough part is getting everything into, actually I need to remove that piece from the old lock. So let me do that now. Or did I already? No, here it is. So this should be interesting. Let's see. This thing pulls out. This should just come out with a little bit of a persuasion. There you go. So it looks like there's like a angle. If you put it in this way, it'll go in. So we're going to try that with the new lock. trying to, this goes this way. So we're going to pull this out and put this in. It goes just like that, just the way it was. So from there, we are going to plug in, if I can find it. There it is. Where's the connector at? Oh, I already did that. It's been a long day. Alright, so the tough part is going to be, I'm going to try to see if I can get, now that there's light coming in through the other side, I'm going to try to see if I can get an image of that little nub that you need to connect to. Let's see. It's back there. Sure if it can be seen. There it is. You see that little, it's like a bolt that hangs down. So you got to lift it up, you know, and just put it into the slot here. And from there, you slide this up and it'll lock it into place. Alright, here we go. It's going to be interesting getting that in there. I guess maybe not too much. Oh, jeez. I had it in there for a bit. Probably going to be the toughest part of the whole project is getting that. Alright, it's in there. Let me see what it looks like. Nope, wrong one. That's not it. That was a bolt to the for the handle. Alright, I got a hold of it. It's quite a task. Almost in there. Alright, I think it's in now. Alright, now I gotta check it out. Make sure. Yep, it's in there. I'm not sure how much you guys can see, but I gotta slide a little bit more. I want to slide it as far back as I can. I'm not sure what that was. Let's see. It's in there. So now I'm going to try to slide the black fastener all the way to the end. There, it's there. I think that probably has something to do with the key lock, you know, unlocking it with the key. Looks like everything's in place. Let me try the key to see if that just now does anything to that lock before I start putting everything back together. Yep. Doing something to the lock, so that's probably a good sign that it's unlocking and locking. That's why I got that towel there. Alright, well that's good enough for me. You know, everything looks fine to me. I don't think that should be going anywhere. So I'm going to tighten this down. A lot of the sites tell you make sure that this is all the way up so that the mechanism engages well. The switches. Tight, but not too tight. All right, everything looks good to me. Now it's a matter of just pulling everything through again, including these grommets. These rubber grommets. Sounded like a WRX or something. It didn't sound like it. It is when I saw it. But it does sound like a WRX. Alright, that's all there. Alright. I'm going to get all this lined up. There it is. Something fits into some grooves when you get it there. Make sure you're not pinching any cables. Grab one of these screws to hold this in place. Alright, that should hold it. I'm going to put a couple of those around. This one I believe stays open. This is where, this is probably the latch. Probably the latch where the door latch, the handle opens up. All right, actually I remember these little metal clips, I guess, are from the little triangle for the mirror switch, so I'm going to keep these here just in case I need them to put things back. But so far the job hasn't been that difficult. It's just a matter of knowing where things are. Obviously, I haven't seen any videos online regarding this. I've seen up to this point where they get to this cover. Pelican Parts has a pretty good tutorial on how to get all this off, but they get to this point and there's nothing, and I haven't seen anything else. So that's why I'm doing this now, and hopefully it'll be helpful for somebody out there, because it seems like this is a pretty common issue, at least with this vehicle, this year. And it happens with a lot of vehicles. I've actually changed. If you look at my videos, I have a video of the same exact thing on a 2008 or 2009 Cadillac Escalade, which is my other vehicle. So it's not, you know, something it's not uncommon. You know, not just on Porsches, but, you know, it happens on the Escalades too. Good thing to do, which I should have done, is take a picture. Take a picture of all the the panel with all the bolts on it, so you know where things go. Because I'm seeing a couple of things where it's repetitive. There's two here. I'm not sure if something goes in here. I don't remember there being a bolt from, I guess, from that panel. So this could just be, well, we'll see. You know, 'cause right now I'm running out of places. It looks like that's here, and there's one there, but I don't have any more. I don't have any more bolts. So I went back through the video. There was a bolt that was just hidden down there. So I'm just going to go through this so that you guys don't make the same mistake I made. So you know where everything goes. Good thing I had the video. At least it showed me that I wasn't crazy. So these are the bolts. Not bolts, but screws. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the corner, 7, and 8. 1, 2, 3. Oh, and this one 9. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that's it. So from there, I'm going to bring the panel over. I'm going to connect these two things and start popping things back into place. The other thing that I read online is that you have to reset these grommets on the back if they're not already reset. So I'm going to try to do that over here. Just take a look at them, make sure that they're popped. Remember, there's also this one connection. So these are reset. This one isn't. So that's what you do there. If it's not reset, this one here, you got to pull it out. That's the one that broke. The little plastic tab broke, and that's why. This one is tough. Actually, this is the one that didn't make it. But it should be fine. You have supports here, you got here. I'm going to try to get a screwdriver to pull that one up. Shoot. There we go. Doesn't really want to pop. There you go. So that should make everything easier. So let me take that back. Take a video of this in case you want to look at the mechanisms, how everything works, in case you have to replace. I know this is some part that also goes bad, this mechanism here. And that's pretty much it. So let me go back over there and get started on this. Let's get started with this. Get a lamp in here. There you go. this goes through there. I believe. Okay, so that goes in there and it clicks in. There you go. And this one, try to remember. There's got to be a cable somewhere. There you go. It's down there. Maybe not. Yes, here we go. Quick, and it's done. So these are going to go into all those holes. We're going to start with that. Grommets are back. Oh, let me get these back in here. Let me take a look at this. Just sort of turn that around. Up and down. Let's see. There you go. So you push back and you twist the cable in there. There you go. And it clips back down. It's like I left one out. So push out, put it in there, push it back down. There you go. It's in there snug. And we're going to start putting all this back in there. Might not want to leave my lamp in there. So, start lining these up. Alright. Little tricky. I'm trying to get a shot for you guys too. Actually, probably be best to put this up top first. Okay, so that's there. Just line up these holes. There you go. You got to put the top in first. I'm sure they're not bent. I got most of it in. Everything's lined up. Yep. So, all right, we're getting there. All right, everything looks like it's pretty good in there. So now I'm going to start putting these screws back in. I can figure out what I did with my Torx bit. That's probably it. Nope. Start up here. that one doesn't want to go in. It's gotta push down a little bit, I think. All right, we'll start on this one now. All right, well, my GoPro decided to die on me. I don't have another battery available. So right now I'm just putting everything back. I just put this back on, you know, just slip it in, put the bottom side in first. And there you go, that one's in. And I already put the bolts, put the one in there. Let's see if I can get the flashlight. Oh, there's a bolt in there, take my word for it. And then bolt there, bolt there, bolt there. And that's pretty much it. Putting everything back. Put this little cap back. So that goes back in there. All right, well, I'm finishing up. I just ended up putting up these caps. So I got that left. Another thing, there was these little metal clips that fell out. I was trying to figure out what they were. They were actually from this. See those little metal clips in there? This I replaced. That's why it says 2016, which is the little switch. It came loose. I don't know if somebody tried to pry this out at some point or just, you know, naturally it happened. So I replaced this part because those little metal tabs were broken. So now when they fell out, now I realize I know that's what that was, that came out. So they tell you to be really careful because they have these plastic tabs right down here. These could break. So I'm going to put it back again from the top. Just going to slide into that little nub and then push in. So we're going to do that. I'm going to plug this in. I can't do it with my phone, unfortunately. I can't do it with both hands, but I put the other cap back on, and I'm about to try starting the car up again. But yeah, I've had this 2010 for a couple years now, and I love it. You know, I'm definitely in love with Porsche, and looking forward to getting my next one, hopefully a turbo. But, you know, these little quirks, little things that happen to these cars. I mean, it's all the cars. I have an Escalade, and Mom is a Mercedes. These actuators go bad. On the Escalade, it's really just the lock mechanism, so it doesn't totally lock when you try to lock the door. I got a video up on that too. So subscribe and like, you know, if you liked the video, if it helped you out, and comment. And, you know, hopefully keep making more videos whenever I get the chance. So obviously when things go bad is when I make videos right now. So hoping things don't go bad, but you know, I hope these things will help out. You know, all these videos that I see from other people have helped me out throughout these years on all my different vehicles, and it's always good, you know, to give back. So that's why I'm here. So let me finish putting this back up, and then I'll, you know, connect the battery again and try to start this thing up and see if everything's working like it should. All right, the moment of truth. I just reconnected the battery. And the window went down as soon as I connected it. So that's a good sign. Well, let's try turning the car on. Voila. Window down, let go of the handle, doesn't go back down again. Close the door, goes back up. Problem solved. Beautiful. Now I just put the cover back on and we should be Done. That's done. Close the hood. And lock mechanism is changed. And I'm happy I don't have to worry about slamming the glass on this metal frame. So there you go. 997, Porsche 911 997.2 Carrera 4 with a new lock mechanism and everything working as it should.